Next on, Derek Casady.
Yes, good evening. I'm Derek Casady. I live in La Jolla, about 50 miles south of here. And I want you to know that I am very afraid of nuclear power. My wife and I talk all the time about why do we continue to live in this area. And mostly the answer is because our daughter and her husband and our 2 granddaughters are living right near us. But we talk about, let's get out of here, because we know that we're ultimately responsible. If something happens at San Onofre, we're going to be responsible for that. The fact that we continue to live around here. We must be stupid, we think. We know that accidents happen, and I can't believe that there's a mechanical system that can operate forever without a big disaster, as long as human beings and mechanical devices are involved. We know there are 2 nuclear submarines on the bottom of the ocean today. 2. Who's more trained? There's nobody more trained that has more of a safety culture, or whatever you call it, than the people in the submarine service, in the nuclear submarine service. And yet 2 of them are on the bottom of the ocean. We saw the oil rig blow up, an incredible disaster. You know, BP never thought that could happen. And that's the thing about mechanical things. I was the engineering officer on a Navy ship. I've seen a hydrogen bomb explode in the South Pacific. I'm one of the few people around who's ever seen a hydrogen bomb blow up. 30 megatons, 80 million times bigger than Hiroshima. And my Navy ship, we had accidents on the thing all the time. Because again, it's human beings, and that's a pretty crude piece of machinery, the Navy ship, compared to songs over here. But that's the way it is. And you never know. It's a funny thing. You never know where the accident's going to come from. You do all these things. You try to think of everything you can think of. And the thing that gets you is the one thing that you never expected. That's the way it's going to be. I have a question. Why won't you guys do a seismic study? Why won't Edison do a seismic study on this plant? The last thing you did was 40-some years ago. You said it would stand a 7-point-something earthquake. Seismology has improved greatly since then. You do these seismic studies with ratepayer money, so it doesn't cost you anything anyway. So why don't you do a seismic study on this plant pretty quick? Don't wait until you get ready to relicense it to do a seismic study. Do it now and let us know. Another question, it seems to me you're sort of secretive. When we come to these meetings, this is about my 5th one. And tonight we see all this process that you go through, and that's commendable. It's really good that you've got your process and your procedures, and you're really trying to keep the thing under control. But you don't tell us the events. Why don't you tell us the events that have happened at the plant? So we have to have a community guy, come in and tell us that, a steel beam dropped in the spent fuel pool. Why don't you guys tell us that? Let us know what's happening up there. Did you tell us that the guy making the fire inspections didn't fill in his log for 5 years? That was before your watch, I know. Did you tell us that the backup generator wasn't hooked up for 3 or 4 years? And on and on. We've heard that. I was scared before I got here. Now after I've heard some of the stuff here tonight, I'm really scared. And we know you have the Price-Anderson Act to back you up. So that tells me that you guys don't really have faith in your technology anyway, because you've got to have the Price-Anderson Act, a federal law that says if a big one happens at San Onofre, we taxpayers are going to cover. After you guys cover some, we're going to cover the rest. You're not willing to take full responsibility for what you're doing there. You're making progress. Oh my God. My wife runs a business down in San Diego, and if she told her customers, we're making progress on getting this thing right, they come in the front door. It's a grocery store. They come in, they expect the thing to be tip-top, ready to go. No, we're making progress, or we're hoping to get it right by the next time the inspectors come, the county building inspectors, the county health inspectors. It's got to be right the day the doors are open, every day that the doors are open, all day long. And so, emergency preparedness. I know there's some great emergency preparedness people here, and I hope we never have to use them. And the final thing I'd like to know is, my real question is, why don't you shut San Onofre down and go into clean, renewable energy? You'll make a lot more money, and you'll have a lot of people really happy with you.
Thank you for your comments. One comment in there that I am familiar with, and that's a seismic study. There were discussions in the past about the seismic study that Southern California Edison is doing, and we've actually been getting updates on that ongoing study. I don't know if Edison wants to comment at all.
Yeah, Greg, to your point of the seismic study, Southern California Edison song, we are updating our seismic analysis. That's primarily as a result of Assembly Bill 1632 from the California Energy Commission. And I believe that was around the November of 2008 timeframe where the bill was approved. And that causes us to update our seismic analysis. Just in the seismic area, we are designed, as you know, to withstand a significant earthquake and safely shut down the station, which is part of our design basis. This bill, though, causes us to update our seismic analysis. We're doing that. We're nearing completion of that update. And our initial data shows that our design is sufficiently conservative. We will provide the results of that updated analysis to the California Public Utilities Commission and also back to the California Energy Commission. One of the comments was, how does that logically lay out? I think the comment was tied to extending the license extension. Of course, completing that seismic analysis would be done prior to any submittal for a license extension in our case, and it's on schedule.
Thank you.
Good evening, I am Nancy Casady, and I am not a worker at the plant, but I am one of your neighbors. And I just want to thank everyone that works at the plant for keeping me and my family and my community safe for the last 45 years. As Derek, my husband, told you, I do run a small business, and I have trouble getting my workers to even know how to wash their hands correctly. So the fact that you all have kept us secure and without a major incident for 45 years is extremely impressive, and I mean it quite sincerely. I think of you almost daily, and thank you for your work. I wanted to just ask if, when you were talking about how you motivate and control the training of your employees, if you ever use any positive reinforcement. Although my work staff is minuscule compared to what you deal with, 125 of us, we use incentives when people hit their marks, like movie tickets and dinner vouchers, and it's been quite successful. I just, as a matter of fact, bought 32 new aerodynamic Swiss Army knives to give to my appropriate managers who met their margins. Just a thought. Anyway, I wanted to come tonight, even though I did have to leave my business and lose 2 hours of work time, because I have an abiding faith that people, when they hear the truth, they recognize it. And the truth is, this is an aging, dangerous facility that is an accident waiting to happen. It's inevitable when you have gaskets and seals and pipes and fittings and pulleys and belts and whoever knows what else in a nuclear power plant run by humans, that accidents will happen. So I would like to say that our work together really in the future needs to be shutting down this plant permanently.